Shut up and sit down.
You can bring up the exact tweets, but he's talking a lot of shit and he's being very offensive. Right? And I get it. That's what you do. You talk shit. When I was competing, I talk shit. I ridicule my opponent. You slander them. You talk shit. You say they're not very good and all the rest of it. But still.
Well, Poirier says that Oliveira should fight Chandler for a title shot. I guess Poirier is calling himself the champion, whatever it is. Poirier is not the champion. That's the reality. What do you think about Oliveira versus Chandler for a title shot? I do agree with you, by the way, after you brought up the fact that Oliveira was there on a 7-fight win streak. Yeah. I agree. He should be right there. But what do you think about Oliveira versus Chandler and then maybe the winner of that fight fighting Poirier?
No, Poirier, in my mind, is the uncrowned champion right now. Listen, Khabib's gone. Khabib's gone. It's over. It's done. He admitted it. Dana pretty much admitted it. And you got to respect the man's decision. Leave him alone. Khabib's out of the equation right now. So therefore, come on, you can't say it's not Dustin. Dustin needs to fight for the belt. He's not crowned, but he's the champ elect. He's the man that everyone will see as the champion. Go on, crown somebody without winning?
Yeah.
Well, Ronda Rousey had it when they created the women's division, remember? And I think it happened one other time. Anyway, but there's the only example I can give you. So, but that isn't going to happen. They're not going to crown a champion in a division as hot as lightweight division without a fight that they can sell, you know? So it's got to be Poirier versus somebody. It ain't going to be Chandler versus Oliveira. Well, Dustin just sits out on the sideline. I understand what Poirier is saying. In his mind, that was the title fight. When I fought Anderson Silva, in my mind, that was my title fight, and if I win and I can retire on that, great. And obviously I went on to win the belt, but at that time in my mind that was a world title fight, and that's how Poirier was viewing that. I was going to say, I'm so happy for Dustin Poirier. I mean, here's a man, the mission he's been on, the amount of time he's been in this sport, the wars that he's been in, to see him now getting all the dues that he's paid for. You know what I mean? Yeah. He's worked his ass off. He did it the long way. He took the long road round, did it the old-fashioned way through blood, sweat, and tears. But he's got there. He's got to win one more fight, and he will be the undisputed champion. It's a beautiful thing.
I guess he said he wanted to fight Nate Diaz. He's interested in that fight. Nate, I know, was talking shit on Twitter as well, saying, what's up, let's do this. Which, look, Nate also coming off a loss to Jorge Masvidal, at 170. So, you know, I guess there's a case to be made there. I think his last, when he beat Pettis, was that at 170 or 155? I think 170.
That was a 170 as well. But listen, they're all blown up 155s, let's be honest, you know. So,
but in a weird way, Poirier is in a good position because he's not the champion. He can go take a huge money fight in Nate Diaz, and it makes sense, right? So right now where Khabib, he's not officially retired. He hasn't officially relinquished the title yet. If I was Poirier, I'd say, fuck it, give me the Nate Diaz fight, which is a massively winnable fight for him in terms of his style, and you know, Nate Diaz has got a little ring rust himself, and then let Chandler and Oliveira fight it out for the number one contender fight, and then you make that, it's almost like a four-way dance for the title right there, and you get Nate Diaz in there for some star power, some star appeal. I think that might be a great solution for some exciting matchups moving forward.
Yeah, no, I agree. I don't necessarily have an issue with that. I do want to talk about Nate Diaz a little bit, though, because I'm not sure, Harrington, if you can bring up the exact tweets, but he's talking a lot of shit and he's being very offensive. Right? And I get it. That's what you do. You talk shit. When I was competing, I talk shit. I ridicule my opponent. You slander them. You talk shit. You say they're not very good and all the rest of it. But still, it's a bit of a bitter pill to swallow. When the man's not active, the man's not fighting. These guys are going out there having great performances, and all he does is talk shit and said, none of you guys, I don't know, Harrington, what was the actual tweet? I don't know if you've got it or not, but I saw one. I mean, it did make me roll my eye a little bit. I'm a fan of Nate Diaz. I'm a fan of Nick Diaz. They're both great. I love it. I just wish they'd fight more, and they're not fighting. So they're talking shit and taking pot shots. What did he say, Harrington?
So I have it here. Nate Diaz posted a picture of when him and Poirier were supposed to fight. Dana did line them up. He faced them off. He said, I'm training to whoop your ass next. Be about it. Don't talk about it. He then followed up, you, and I'm assuming so he's talking about McGregor, you and DP got choked on your face the other day by a guy that ran off and didn't want none, especially with me. How you going to fight for a title? I've been here for 14 years. No one can do me like that ever in my life. LOL, lightweight division.
Yeah.
Well,
okay. Listen,
no one ever. I mean, I watched Josh Thompson fucking knock out Nate Diaz.
He's got 12 losses on his record. you know what I mean? It's he's a great fighter. He brings a lot of excitement, but and I get it. He's trying to insert himself into it, but still, I'd have chose different words. But yeah,
George, we had a doctor stoppage after the third round against Jorge Masvidal. I mean, Nate has been finished, and I'm the biggest fucking Nate Diaz fan. Like, I love the Diaz brothers, but I think that's also, it's similarly to how George was talking about Conor, about his confidence is like this superpower where he needs to psych himself up. I think that's what the Diaz brothers do. When they lose, they say, no, I didn't lose. I won that fight. And it's just that what they have to do in order to keep training at the highest level, in order to keep competing at the highest level, they have to psychologically convince themselves that they're unbeatable.
Yeah, well, no, that's what you have to do as a mixed martial arts fighter. You have to go in there with supreme confidence.